Should I move?
Hello, good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's so good to see you all online, very online, extremely online for this exciting edition of the PyConline AU News Update. As you can see, I have the wonderful Lee and Benno joining me this evening. Lee, how are you?
Not too bad.
And Benno?
Oh, in Melbourne, locked down, but, whatever.
Well, I'm glad you're safe and indoors, mate. Now, something I didn't prepare Lee or Benno for tonight was in which order I'm going to interview them in. I have this wonderful challenge coin, and we're going to figure out how we go based on this. So, Benno, you are a confirmed yak shaver.
That is true.
And Lee, I'm going to give you the wonderful Beware B. And let's see. Yak shaver first. Benno, you're up. So, Benno, today we announced the schedule and the program of talks for PyConline AU. Can you take me through a little bit what the conference is going to look like over the 3 days and what we have to look forward to?
So we've got 3 days of the conference. The first day is our specialist track day. We've got our 5 specialist tracks. I'll be streaming across 4 streams. So we've got 2 packed onto one stream, and then the other 3 have a stream each. There's 39 sessions across those on Friday, or you can just pick one track and just watch the whole thing. But we've got a lot of really good content there across the data science and analytics track. We've got a security and privacy track. We have the education track, we have a DjangoCon AU track, and we have the DevOps track, which is new, and that's all about failures and how to learn from them, hence the name. On the Saturday, we've got the what we normally call the main conference, which is a more just sort of general spread of topics. We've got 35 talks across, again, 4 streams. And we've got a new content. We've got, as well as our normal talks, we've got deep dives, which are longer talks. And this year we've also introduced 15-minute short talks. And we've actually had a bunch of those show up and get scheduled onto the program. So we hope people enjoy those as well. And then on Sunday, we've got our mentored sprints. We've run those in other years. Generally, those have been, in rooms. You can gather around a table and do stuff. But in the keeping with, oh God, how are we going to do that this year? We're going to be doing that in our in our same conference sort of chat system that we've got already set up. There will be the ability to do video conferencing, I believe, in that, and a whole bunch of other options. So we're hoping that it all works, because the whole point of this is to try and retain the community vibe that PyCons are renowned for, while basically keeping a responsible physical distance.
That's a really good point. You've run away from me in terms of the salient points I wanted to ask you about there, but I'm really glad you hit on that sort of the vibe and the feeling of attending a PyCon conference. Just on Twitter this afternoon, we were referring to the feel of the meat space events, and now we're going online, extremely online. We really want to create that same friendly, welcoming, and encouraging space as part of the conference.
It would be terrible to go a year without that kind of feeling, even if we have to not be in the same room.
Absolutely. So you've run away with all the information. We've got a heap of talks announced. I think people really need to go and actually check out the schedule and see what's exciting for them. Do you have very online? Do you have a final message you'd like to give to attendees who might be thinking about attending this year?
Stay safe, live long, possibly prosper. But seriously, I mean, there's a lot of effort that goes into. Our speakers have put a lot of effort into putting their proposals together. We've put a bunch of effort into picking the ones that we think are going to work well and scheduling it and playing talk Tetris in the schedule editor and all that kind of stuff. And then our speakers are now off putting hundreds of more hours of effort into actually creating the content. And so what we need to do next is make sure that, all of the people out there can come along and watch those presentations and join us in, our responsibly distanced community event.
And of course, go register, right?
Yeah, you can do that. Totally, sure. Yes, register. Definitely register.
Marvelous. So you can head over to pycon.org.au/program, and you can check out the website. That's where all of the talk details are. Make sure you head over there and check out all of those sessions. Now, speaking of those sessions, you do need to be registered to attend. And we do, of course, have Conference Director Lee with us.
Hi.
Now, Lee, as I introduce you, I keep getting distracted by a rather marvelous lightning storm that's rolling through Sydney at the moment.
No.
So I'm going to have to ask you to carry the show from Adelaide.
All right.
Now, we've had lots of people asking us about when they'll be able to register for the conference this year. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes. Can you tell us a little bit more about people registering?
Yeah, so there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes to be able to, not just to get a ticket ready to sell, but also the various bits that are required to get the ticket holder into our virtual conference venue.
Absolutely. It's not just a case of wiring up a payment. A lot of care and thought has to go into that and make sure that everyone, our hundreds of attendees, have a really seamless, positive experience. Now, I notice we've got several different types of tickets. So let's step through those just quickly. At a high level, people will see that we've announced students, enthusiasts, professionals, and contributors. Could you talk us through who is really the target audience for those tickets and why someone should buy a particular type?
Yeah, so as you said, we have 4 types of tickets. Our student ticket is as cheap as possible so that students can participate in the conference, and anybody with an Australian or a New Zealand institutional email address can access those tickets. Our next tier is the enthusiast tier. That's sort of the general admission tier. And so those tickets are for anybody who sort of uses Python in their spare time or something along those lines. Because it's really important that we have everyone that uses Python rather than just people in suits. If you are somebody that, if your employer is paying for you to come, or if you make a living using Python, then we have the professional tier. And our sort of top tier ticket, which is also kind of a minor sponsorship as well, is the contributor ticket. So the ticket structure is more or less the same as it has been previous years, but we also have some slight tweaks because we are online.
Yeah, and an online conference is different, but a couple of the key themes that are coming through here is really about creating that inclusive space where we're trying to make it easy for everyone to participate in the conference. And so what I'm really excited to see is that we've still got really cheap student tickets so that people putting themselves through education can participate in the conference. And for those people who've been long-time members of the community who often are contributors, the money that comes in from those tickets still goes towards supporting those initiatives through outreach and inclusion. I really love that. Something I'd like to point out as well, that I love that we've included inviting our friends from across the pond over in New Zealand. So if you've got a Kiwi academic institution email, we're totally okay with that. So picking a different ticket. If you're going to register for a student ticket with a corporate card, maybe don't do that. But we're not auditing this too closely. We know that it's difficult times, and so we're not auditing people between enthusiasts or professionals, but we just want a bit of common sense and ask people to think through what is the appropriate ticket for them.
Yeah, and it's worth remembering that PyConline and PyCon is run by, we're auspiced by Linux Australia, which is a not-for-profit. So if we make a revenue, every cent of that revenue goes back into community events for future years.
Absolutely. No one's pocketing the cash. It all goes back into the Python community and the Python ecosystem in Australia. Now, how will attendees actually join the conference? If I've purchased that ticket, how can I get into our virtual venue?
Right. So if you purchase a ticket, it's important that you've purchased it with your own email. So if you're buying multiple tickets for your team, you'll be prompted to enter 10 different emails for 10 tickets or something along those lines. So we're going to be emailing out unique codes to join to everyone that's registered, and that'll come out close to the event along with some sort of step-by-step instructions on how to join us. Okay,
so we'll have some more click-by-click instructions, but the really important message for especially teams and companies that are coming to PyCon, we're really excited that you're going to join us as a team, but please make sure that you're registering individually so that we can email you your invitation code. We have some creative ideas in the background about how we're going to get that information out to you, but that, my friends, is for a later stream. Now, Lee, do you have any last messages you'd like to share for everyone?
Yes, please go register.
Down there.
Yeah. That's like my hand's off the screen. There it is. Where's no? My hand's there.
It's down there. Marvelous.
This is the first time we've used this layout.
We're trying new things here.
But yeah, so like conferences like this, they're not just a collection of talks. It's about getting inspired and getting excited about the technology and making new friends. I've made loads of friends over the last, 9 years. And it's like, this is the sort of event that only really happens when we have sort of interesting and exciting and passionate people coming. So go to the link and do the thing.
And we'll make sure we get a copy of that URL popped into chat shortly for everyone. So stick around and we'll get you something easy to click through. We do have a question from chat. Is everything going to be videoed? We are, of course, very online this year, so it will all be video. But we probably won't have the talks up within a few minutes of each of their deliveries. So it's really important that to join in on the conference, you are there, registered, and participating in the chat throughout the weekend. But yes, if you have 2 talks scheduled and they're at exactly the same time that you want to go and watch them, there will be a way for you to catch up on that after the fact. But it just won't be immediately or on demand. So thank you, Alistair. Great question. We'll get some more information about our virtual conference and our venue out shortly. So I'll make sure we get a link to registration into the chat. But that's it from me, from us. Lee, Benno, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon and this evening. I'm going to change our layout, and I'm going to make sure that we have that down the bottom. Join us at pycon.org.au/attend and make sure you've registered your tickets. We've got 3 weeks to the conference, and I'm so excited to see you all there. Thank you and good night.
Oh gosh, 3 weeks.